afternoon, everyone, and thank you for coming to Deb Chanel's 4 Days World, where we do recaps and reviews on soap operas as well as reality shows. Today, we're going to be discussing Thicker Than Water. I'm sorry, Thicker Than Water, the Tankard Family Show. Okay, we're going to be discussing season 3, episode 5. And basically, at the start of my video, I'm putting up a dual representation of SNS. Let's talk about it. That's my dual station I do with my daughter. That's a separate channel I want y'all to go out and check out. Then my daughter has her own channel called Starr Kraziness for, I guess you could say, 16 up to 25, maybe 30. That's her age group she's trying to capture. So if you can go and subscribe to her channel as well, get to know her content, and you might enjoy yourselves over there. And definitely subscribe to our dual channel we do together on a mother and daughter spin of perspectives, SNS. Let's talk about it. Okay, so let's get to this particular episode of Thicker Than Water, the Tankard Family, season 3, episode 5. The title is Family Feuds. Just a little bit of summary on this particular episode. We go in and the dynamics they're giving us is a family feud erupts after Shannara criticizes Marcus and Tish's parenting style. In addition, Ben squirrels Jewel away for a romantic date at a secret location to escape the drama and aggravated Brooklyn. No, just to escape the drama that transpired the night before. And an aggravated Brooklyn encouraged the family to face their issues. Meaning she's pretty much wanting both brothers, Marcus and Benji Jr., to come to grips to what's really going on with their relationship when it comes to both spouses. And Brooklyn pretty much feels that it's a lot of surface information or problems that are developing between the two couples because they don't basically live together. Benji has his own little pad, and Marcus is basically staying in the mansion, or I like to say the tanker compound. So, but he does come over there randomly, and he does wants to take care of his nephew Micah, but with Tish always hovering over the baby, it's kind of not a doable thing, and not even probably a doable thing in the near future. And Marcus recognizes it, but he don't necessarily says anything to his wife. She's very clingy, and it's very well expressed throughout the family. The opinion of how Tish is very clingy to Marcus. And now, since the baby has arrived, she's very clingy to her baby. And with that being the first one, I guess I could see her point. But I mean, you would need some time alone with your husband. Because as the child grows, sometimes men arbitrarily gets in their head that you're paying too much attention to them and to the baby and not to them. So you don't want to lose that romanticism that brought y'all both together prior to the baby coming. So that's basically what the family's pretty much trying to tell Tish. You know, let them help her out. She don't have to be in with her baby 100% of the time, and she don't feel like she can trust anybody. And even Big Daddy Ben was saying, you know, he'd be glad when Shannara has her baby, because at least he'll be able to, you know, mess with his grandson or granddaughter, which is the case. She's having a girl. He can, you know, love on her more because he barely gets a chance to even think he could probably hold on to Michael maybe 15 minutes before Tisha comes swooping, you know, the baby out his hands. So, as you can see, between last week's episode as well as this current episode that I'm talking about now, she does have an attachment to you know, just getting in the midst of them not wanting to hold her baby and this, that, and the other. So that is pretty much a hot mess. But like I said, we were capping off of last week's episode, and Brittany is wanting to have a baby still. Brooklyn wants her dad respect. Tisha's not wanting family members holding her baby. So that's basically where we are, and we're trying to address some of the issues from last episode. So basically, the setting is all of the family are in the main room, or the den, or the family room where everybody relaxes, and it's not set out for it's not the kind of furniture that you would want to not sit on. It's one of those kind of rooms, like a family room. Anything can happen, anything goes. So they're sitting there discussing. They're still kind of arguing with Marcus and Tisha. So it's like all of the family is against Marcus and Tisha. Just basically trying to, have a complete understanding, positive conversation about Tisha and Marcus not wanting, the rest of the family to hold baby Michael, keep him, while they want to go enjoy themselves in town, or, whatever. Or hell, they just want to be by themselves in their bedroom, just talking amongst things, and they want somebody else to watch Michael. Uh, but Marcus has a big discussion about it because he feels that nobody's ever really brought that up to them, that they were being selfish with their son and not spreading the love where they can watch them whenever they felt like it, or if they wanted to give them a break, they could come and get them, and it won't nothing really be said. So it was still kind of heated, and Tisha pretty much was feeling like she didn't actually feel that way about the situation, but actions show more than words can ever say. So they were basically telling her, look what you did when you came back downstairs. You end up taking the baby away. And that was caught on film, and everybody's looking like, okay, the baby just fell asleep in his auntie's arms, and you just came and took the baby instead of saying, okay, I'm gonna go take him and get him ready for bed and lay him down. No, you came and got him, then you went over across the room and sat in another chair where you don't have to be with the group of the family, but you was still in that area where you can hear things. So that was just really trifling. But anyway, we go to Marcus and the family. He goes in on his father about how crappy he was as a father. He goes in on his biological mother about how crappy she was as a parent. So I'm like, Marcus, who is giving you the etiquette book on how to raise your child and be there for your child? I mean, right now, I don't think you have a job that's bringing in money other than you selling your bow ties, but I guess that is something. But, for you to continuously hold on to feelings that I'm sure you've already had a conversation with your father about, as well as your mother. So why do you keep on if you have addressed these issues? And right now, you and your wife and your son are living in a lap of luxury. And all the money that you are getting, I'm sure your dad is not asking you for no rent to pay this, that, and the other, or electricity bills, or any of that nature, where you still gonna have to come out your pocket. I really don't feel that is the case. I really feel your dad is letting you be able to use whatever money you making from your entrepreneurship with selling your bow ties. He's letting you stack up that money. And if you're doing anything else, again, that's what you're doing. And your wife's supposed to be a makeup artist, but why aren't we seeing her going out, with her clients and filming her? It's just really weird of how you could say your father didn't do this, that, and the other, but he's definitely is making up, or have made up in a sense. That he's spending time with you. You're at his house. You're seeing him every day. I'm sure if you need money for this, that, and the other, he got you covered there. You got food, you got shelter, you got clothing. Everything is good. Don't keep worrying about the past. You keep telling your siblings, don't keep dredging up the past. Just go on and address your issues and put it to rest. Burn it after that. Look to the current and the future. But you're not even taking your own advice. So, like I said, one episode you're doing real good. You're counseling people in a sense of keeping them positive and structured. Then in another segment, you're just falling all down south. Just like you don't went off the radar scale because you don't got too temperamental with what you feel, what you all up in your feelings. So I'm like, you're there, but you still are a work in progress, my brother. So we move on from you and we go to Tish. Tish, like I said, she exits. She get upstairs. She's trying to basically turn Mama Jewel against Shannara, but she ain't finna make no turns because she knows she gonna have a better chance with her little baby girl that Shannara is having, and she's gonna have her all the time. Versus she don't never get to see her baby Michael. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, don't think you're gonna turn Mama Jewel against Shannara because that's not gonna happen. Because definitely Big Ben, their father, really has taken a liking to her, and it's because she's down to earth. You're trying to be all superficial, and I'm like, where are your parents? Why aren't you ever going, taking the camera and seeing your siblings on your mother's side? I mean, come on, I'm sick of you. Ugh, we move on from her. We go back to Marcus and the family. Marcus is still, he's taking the bouncer. And he's like, okay, look, I gotta finish up cooking because I am cooking for y'all, half-heartedly, disgruntled family members. But that's cool. But I can't have my baby in there with me because he will worry the hell out of me. So y'all take him. I don't care who wants him. I'm gonna put him in this bounce. He start acting up, then y'all get him. Honey, Michael said, I ain't going in that bouncer, honey. No ma'am. I'm tired already. So somebody gonna hold me. So Brooklyn gets up, takes the baby from him. Before we know it, not even 5 minutes, that baby done sat there on her breast, found that to be a little pillow, and he done took himself to sleep. That was so sweet. And I was like, oh my goodness. See, it shows. Even baby Micah know he home with family. He don't care who holding him. He just know their spirit is right. The pillow is tight, and he wanted to go to sleep, and he did just that. All right. So, meanwhile, Tisha's upstairs. She comes back down. She's in, the middle of the family room, and Ben is asking his daughter-in-law to come over and sit by him so she could feel his energy and see that, he loves all of his family. He considers them family, and they're gonna have issues, and they gotta work through them. They can't just hold in grudges and hold in this, that, and the other. They gotta come with it and express their feelings. Because under this rule, we can't be having all this nonsense. I'm too old for that. So, and I don't raise my kids, or basically, I thought I was raising them by giving them money for their other sibling, not other sibling, but other parent to take care of them. But okay. But I got all of y'all now. Yeah, my pockets run deep, and I don't think y'all suffering from anything. Y'all got food, clothes, shelter, whether y'all under my roof or not. Y'all got it somewhere else. You got transportation. You ain't catching no bus or no subway nowhere. So y'all need to just cut me some slack. I could still been y'all daddy, and I had none of y'all jokers up around here trying to make sure y'all good, at least in the middle part of y'all lifetime. Um, but they're not thinking about that, and I think they really do need to think about that issue. Because if he died today, of course it wouldn't be no more Tanker show, more than likely. But y'all been lost the epitome, the cornerstone of y'all family member who wanted and did have a selfish part at the first part of his life, but now he's old enough to appreciate family, and he has money to definitely make up for a lot of things that he did miss out on, to make y'all lives a little bit better where it really does count now. He missed out in the formative years, but he showed catching up on y'all having babies, and he having to, put money for that, and then making sure y'all have something over y'all head for a shelter and, clothes. Yeah, I mean, it's just the whole gamut. They need to give him a rest, and move on. If they need therapy, then go to therapy. But anyway, Tisha comes back down, and she sees baby Michael is asleep. No, she not gonna sit there and just, let him stay under his auntie. And whenever, they get tired, then she gonna take him upstairs. She go upstairs too. No, honey, she gonna come and get her baby. Right what they was telling her was the argument started about her not wanting nobody to take care of that baby, to give her a rest, to give her arms a rest, to give her lap a rest, give her, you know what I'm saying? No, honey, she came and got her baby and put him back in her arms and got over there in the other chair. I was like, oh, she can't be helped. Let's move on from her. Um, Oh, I missed over the part where Ben was telling her to basically come over there and sit with him so they can hash things out. But she had told her father-in-law, she wasn't ready to do that. She didn't want to do that, and that's just where it was. She took her baby from Brooklyn and she went over there and sat in another chair. And he was kind of cranky when she had picked him up, but which she really didn't have to. But it basically did show them that. She gonna do what she want to do with her baby. That's her baby. That's fine. Whatever. So the family proved their point, and she had not a leg to stand on. But like I said, that girl is crazy, and she's too young to be acting crazy like that. But anyway, and then again, where's her friends? Where's her outside entertainment? Other than her being around her family all the time. And then, like I said, where is her family? Why don't they ever show us visiting her side of the family or whatnot? But anyway, it's the Tanker Show. It ain't nothing else. But we move on from there. It is the next day. Ben is taking his plane out for a little run. He got it like that. He got a little pilot, little what do you call it? A Cessna plane with a two-seater. And he just took it out. He's like, forget this. I'm tired of being around my grouchy family. I need to go and have some time to myself. So he goes out to the airplane range where he stores his planes. And he go and charter his little plane on out, get clearance from the tower, and he gonna do what he got to do. He flies by their house and hope they seeing him. He waving at them. He hoping they waving at him, but he gone, honey. So then we go to the segment with Shannara and Benji. They are out and they're going shopping for their baby to come. And, they're having a little moment in the store. And Shania brought up a good point. She was wondering if the two kids, Micah and her little daughter, that's going to be so they probably like 2 years apart. I believe it will be, or a year apart from one another. But she was wondering, with them being close as in family, by them being over there all the time, will their two kids grow up together and know each other and want to foster their own bond with staying in touch with each other? She don't really think so because Tisha is a one of a kind thing. All that I can say, honey, you got to do what you can. Whenever your baby would be over there, because, like, you know, um, they have their own apartment, Benji and his wife. So, they already trying to do their own thing. But, I don't understand why Marcus didn't have him a little place, why he felt he needed to stay at his dad's house, unless he just trying to stack money to buy his own little mansion around now. But like I said, Ben had a lot of people to fill his mansion up, and I'm pretty sure every room is filled to capacity. Why you want a mansion and you only got you, your wife Tish, and your only child Micah? That's stupid as hell. But like I said, he gives me some good points, Marcus, and he be on track. But then it seems like he just goes south sometime when they, putting this show together and they're filming. But anyway, like I said, we came to the conclusion for right now we don't think the two little young people that are growing up gonna be close. But only time will tell. We go to Jewel and Ben. It's date night for them. And Ben has come up to get his wife, asking her, is she ready to go? Just like the gentleman he is. And she like, yeah, she done got on her little boots and her little skin tight little fitting dress. And honey, he show up in this like Batman little half of a car. It looked like half of a car and half of a motorcycle. I was like, what the hell Ben going in this shit? But anyway, he goes and takes them to their date night. And where he goes to take her is kind of cute. It's quaint. It's intimate, but I never would have thought he would have taken her there. But I guess she done been something everywhere with him. Simple and simplicity is in now. Not over extravagant, oversized luxury. They've done that, did that, done that, moved on. And the most intimate, really sweet, thoughtful things that you do, even if it's on a lower scale, are the most memorable ones. So I can see where he was coming with that. That was cute. But anyway, he goes and puts her in the car, a little bat car, I call it, Batman car. And but it's the bat tanker car, I guess. He goes on down the street riding. Like, I don't know. It was, like I said, it puts you in the mind of a motorcycle. It just has like a little, but shit, if you saw the little, featured episode, you'll see what I'm talking about because I can't even really think. I guess you remember Mayberry when Barney Fife used to have his little motorcycle. He has little other compartment that you can ride somebody on the side. If you kind of can imagine that in your mind, it was something similar to that on Mayberry. Then we go to commercial. We come back. Jill and Ben are at their place. Honey, he done took her to the airplane hangar where he was earlier on that particular day when he was flying his plane. He actually had went and sat, the hangar where they store the planes. He had kind of like made it an intimate setting, and he had a little table and the chairs and the food and the wine, the roses, just everything. And that was an everything moment too. So that was kind of cute. It was not expected, so that was a good thing. So we moved from there. Brooklyn and Diamond, they're both going shopping. More so, Brooklyn is trying to find her daughter her first time bra. Diamond said she wanted a padded bra to make her a little bigger than what she is. And her mother's like, okay, fine. Since you don't want a bra that's true to your size, as long as you don't come back looking at this mannequin, looking like this mannequin. Meaning it was a mannequin that was actually pregnant. Or showed it like a pregnant woman would have been. And I guess it was just trying to show how the bra would look on a pregnant person or whatnot. So Diamond got the picture. She said, okay, Mama, I ain't gonna do that. But anyway, we move from that scene. We go to Jewel and Ben, and they're at home. This is another day. And Jewel, of course, is trying to call Serene. Serene ain't picking up her phone. And I'm pretty sure she sees her mama texts and everything. She still got that long cord going from where Serene goes to school, which is, I think, Howard University. I'm thinking. I'm not really sure on that. And and to their home, which is in Tennessee. Can you believe that? Jewel need to pull up, pull up, pull up, pull up. And as that is going around, Ben is in the kitchen doing something. I have no idea. I want to say he cleaning up the kitchen. Maybe it's from breakfast. But everybody's pretty much lounging around the house doing their own little thing. And then in walks Brittany. She comes in for a day out with her dad. So evidently they set this little outing up because Ben seems to be waiting on her. And when she comes in, he said, okay, where you going to take me, boo? Where you going to take me? So they having a little daughter and father thing, and he says Brittany is the one of his children that is really in his heart because she don't care what he had did in the past by choosing his career and going to make dreams happen to fulfill his satisfaction or certification, in the sense that he was doing everything he felt he deemed himself to have done in his lifetime. So he was chasing his dream at an early age, even though he was going around making all these little different children with, women. I want to say 3 different women. But anyway, you know, and he really wasn't thinking. He was just really being selfish. But he invested his money real well because now he's not on the road as much as the latter part of his life, and it has afforded him to be able to take care of everybody in a very affluent type way, and they don't have to worry about anything as well. So financially, so he's definitely did the thing the first part of his life so he could be able to rest and enjoy the fruits of his labor and to have his family be encompassed in all of that. So I don't know. They're too young to try to appreciate things and put things to rest that don't mean them no more good that happened in their past, and just look at their current and their future with their dad and what he can do for them. So for a few of them are coming out the darkness, but Brittany, like I said, her daddy could do no wrong in her eyes, and he felt that, and he was very appreciative to her taking that stance on him. So I hope he don't give into the idea that he thinks it's a better thing for Brittany to have a baby, because that's just not. I mean, he's a pastor; he knows better. He's not really giving her that idea of an okay, that he's okay with it. He's just saying he understands it. So pretty much, they go out for their little mother daughter date of athletic capabilities, and she takes him to the community center, and they play racquetball together. And they just, I didn't really see too much racquetball playing going on, but pretty much he's asking her while they're, call themselves exercising and playing racquetball, have she had a chance to talk to anybody else in the family about her wishes to wanting to have a child. And she goes on to say she did talk to Marcus, and Marcus was telling her the ins and outs, and that she's looking at it from one standpoint, but she needs to look at it from a well-rounded, all the way round viewpoint of when nobody is available to take her child. How is she gonna feel about that? What if the child, you know, it becomes to be like a secondary thing for her. You can't just give it back away like you can put a dog up for adoption. You can put a child up for adoption too, but that's not going to happen in the Tanker family. Somebody be done took that child before they let somebody in the system have that child. So he's just like, be aware that this is a lifetime thing. It's not like you have them for 6 months, a year, and you want to trade them in, or you don't want them no more, be it a female or a male child. This is for real. So everybody, I don't know what's wrong with Britt. I think she needs to go to counseling, and they need to have a lot more father and daughter dates, and just events where they just go to places so she can find other interest in it, trying to impregnate herself, and her family is like 100% behind her, because that's not okay. You know what I'm saying? It's just not. So we go to a commercial. We come back from the commercial. We're at Baby Micah, Tisha, Marcus, and Brooklyn. Okay, they're meeting at this little restaurant. Kind of remind you of a Chipotle or a little Panera Bread type eatery joint. And she's meeting them because she just didn't like how things had transpired at the house the night before, between the two siblings, which are the brothers Marcus and Benji Jr. And she was telling, her big brother Marcus that she didn't like how that went down, because everybody had a point in it, but it was just like, you know, Benji's feelings was very much so hurt. And he always tell them to try to work things out when it had something to do with their dad. Let him know how you feel about things, and then y'all talk about it and y'all move on. So she was trying to throw the same kind of information back to her big brother, like, hey, you and Benji has got to sit down and talk about it, and she did make a valid point that Tisha, yeah, you are kind of headstrong when it comes to your child, because you remember she brought up the point of reference that when she had that little moment, she had to go upstairs and come back. She had the baby and the baby was asleep, and it was a cute little moment, and she thought it was cute. That the baby went on and slept in her arms. He fell asleep, but then, you couldn't take that verbatim. It would have been a different thing if you were taking the baby up to go to bed for the night, and you were going to turn it in too, because, the night was just too much for you. But you took the baby out my arms. He waking up again, frustrated and aggravated. Then you take him and go put him, you go sit on the other side of the room and still have conversation, or you listen to everybody's conversation about what they felt transpired between the argument. And that wasn't fair. That was the point being proven, that you don't want nobody sitting there holding your baby. And the only excuse you could give, you love your baby, you love your baby. And they had came to the conclusion that you're too clingy. You're very clingy. When it comes to Marcus, you were very clingy. Wanting to be around him. Didn't want to give him no air to breathe. If you're going to go to the bathroom, you right there with him. Do you need some toilet paper? That kind of shit. So they were just trying to tell her she need to check herself. But she really want the two brothers to get together and their spouses and talk over what's really going on. So they both agreed, and she told me she was gonna be the referee. She gonna set up a date and time. They come over there at the house, and they talk about it. So it's a good little thing. But like I said, Tish she understood, but she didn't want to understand. You know what I'm saying? So they pretty much, I don't know if it happened that same day or that evening or it was the next day. But anyway, Marcus get his little family in the main area room. And then Shannara and Benji is coming over, and they get to their dad's house, and so they all meet, and so they didn't really want to have a conversation, I guess, in the house, because Mark said, well, how about we just go outside? I guess in case everything get heated, they'll at least be outside, and ain't nobody really close to them that can hear the argument if they really got things going. And again, Brooklyn was there in order to keep the baby. The baby didn't necessarily have to go out there with them or even be in the atmosphere or the environment. She took that baby, honey. I'm like, I'm sick of you and that baby. You know what I'm saying? Get it together. You need to be broken free from your baby. Because that's just like, ugh. What are you going to do when your child have to go to preschool, have to go to school? You know what I'm saying? Are you going to be one of them mothers that just be breaking down, falling on the floor, having what do you call it, a panic attack? I'm like, somebody please get her straight. Where's her mother? Where's her father? Somebody put it in the comments. Let me know, where is her family on her mother's side? Because I don't understand this dynamics that she got going on. Because it was a conversation that needed to be had between both females and both males. You didn't have to have the baby out there trying to be interrupting, because he might start hollering, might be wet, and you're messing up the conversation that needs to be had. But honey, she ain't let Brooklyn hold that baby while they went outside to discuss the issues that the brothers had and that the sister-in-laws were having between each other. She took the baby on. I'm like, girl, forget her. But anyway, we go to a commercial. We come back. The couples are pretty much outside. Marcus has a little heated moment with Benji, because Benji was saying, you're supposed to be my brother. I look up to you. And then when we was having that issue, you start hollering at my wife, about saying something to your wife about your child. And he said, I thought it was very disrespectful. You didn't have to have that tone with her when you call yourself saying, everybody having their opinion. She was just having an opinion of the matter. And she's pretty much talking to your wife. She really didn't care too much about you. But, you took her for your wife and then tried to slam my wife in the same breath. And that wasn't right. So, Marcus kind of half-heartedly interjected, but then he said, fuck it, I'll give you an apology, because it don't mean 2 cents to me. I can care less. I'm still going to do what I got to do, because the only thing I'm concerned about is my wife, my family, and Jesus. But I was like, no, Marcus, you don't hit the nail off the plank that you were trying to nail it into to make your structure. No, boo-boo. It's first Jesus, then you, then your wife, then your baby. Get it together. You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to be preaching the word of the Lord. And I can't say he's scared of the cameras, because he's been too much, chitter chatting on film taping to say he's, not wanting to sit there and have a conversation while the camera's rolling. So I won't even give him that pass. I'm like, get it together, Marcus. Jesus is first. Okay? But really, the Father is first, then Jesus, then the Holy Spirit. Or I would say the Father, the Holy Spirit, and Jesus. Either way, you don't come after until everybody else has been said. Okay, the Trinity, then you, then your wife, then your child. Get it together. Get it right. Okay. I don't want to go over this simple situation with you ever again. Okay. All right. So we move on from Marcus. I'm sick of him. um. Nothing really resolves itself. It's pretty much that Marcus said he had to say, Benji said what he had to say, and the women just let it ride. Because, they're going to be messy anyway. They're not blood. You know what I'm saying? They just married into family. So, only people that are blood are Marcus and Benji, and they need to keep the barriers where you don't cross this line and you don't get disrespected. Okay? That's pretty much where we are with that. We move on. Have a commercial. We come back. Okay. Oh, let's see here. Oh, and then Marcus Benji said Marcus had belittled him, so that was another issue. But like I said, he apologized for it. We moved on. We're at Marcus, Tisha, and Brittany. Okay, pretty much Brittany is kind of setting them up, like she said. She's coming over, teaching them some exercise routines to keep them and their bodies tight and right and stuff. So I don't know if Brittany did this fitness thing on her own, or she had some surgical procedures done. If she didn't, kudos for her. She gave some very good exercise drills to keep your body toned up, especially with your calves and your thigh muscle areas, and she got them really tired and stuff. But like I said, I never still seen Brittany holding the baby to the very end because the parents was too pooped. It's like they were just holding the baby, and so I'm like, "But goddamn, why y'all didn't keep the baby in the inside? It still had people I know that were in the inside that could have been holding the baby." While y'all out there having y'all workout time, because you can't be holding no baby and trying to be doing so, even though neither one of them are heavy set people. They're pretty much thin by nature, and so I don't understand why they was really out of breath. But I guess that if you ain't in shape, you ain't in shape. Don't matter whether you big or small. But anyway, that's where we were with that. And at towards the end, she called herself gonna ask, can she babysit the baby Michael for a couple of hours. And at first, well, Marcus said it's okay all day, every day. But Tisha was like 2 hours. Like, I guess she was just talking about a good 15 minutes to 30. That's good. I'm like, but where you going to go in the 15, 30 minutes unless you're going to take your bath or you saying your prayers or something like that? Are you kidding me? Anyway, like I said, they might just forget about that baby and let her have all the mixed feelings she have when Shannara drops her baby and everybody's just, paying attention to that baby, want to babysit that baby, this, that, and another. Let her have it, okay? Because that's just, we moving on for that situation. Go to commercial, we come back, we got Ben and Brooklyn. They are both having lunch together in their dad's favorite restaurant that he was going to buy. But since it had alcohol, it was like a barbecue type hole in the wall. But evidently they must sell good barbecue or whatever. But like I said, Ben had a moment's thoughts, lacks in judgment, because just because you buy an establishment that serves wine, beer, and whatever. I mean, come on. In the Bible, Jesus turned water to wine when they ran out at this wedding reception that was being had. So I'm like, you drank wine too when you're out with your wife or you're in sociable type environment. So I don't understand. It's crazy on his train of thinking, or that's why he didn't buy the particular establishment. So that's another here or there, but they having a very bad dynamics between the two of them because Brooklyn is saying her dad is not paying attention to her and this, that, and the other. When she tries to call him, he don't pick up. And of course, Ben is definitely saying that's not so, this, that, and the other. And I don't know, it's just too much going on. So I'm like, everybody need to go to therapy because I don't understand what the hell that's going on. I mean, there's money to be had. There's people, she already got her entrepreneurship going on. It's just too much. I'm like, come on. I can't take it. All his children need to pull up. It's too much for me. One don't want to get pregnant, but don't have no father or husband to speak of to be a father for her child. Don't even know if one is in the picture because she was talking about in vitro fertilization. I mean, she gonna go in vitro. I'm like, what? And then you got one sibling out the house, one sibling in the house, and they still complaining. I don't understand the dynamics. Ooh, it's too much. But anyway, guys, that was my take on Thicker Than Water, the Tanker family, family feuds. And it ain't even got that. It's just they should have said sibling feuds and spouses. Because ain't nothing wrong with Jewel. Ain't nothing wrong with Ben. Okay? They just trying to enjoy their lives vicariously through their children. But I don't know. I think they need to leave their children and they need to go on a month's vacation. Okay? Because they don't both work too hard to get what they got and still trying to have and preserve for their children. Their children are acting crazy. And really, what's her name? Jewel only had one child. And that's definitely still not with being her husband. He have all them crazy children running around now with all these different issues. So I'm like, kudos go off to Miss Jewel for being stepmoms or really moms to these babies and with young adults. And her fascination about trying to keep up with Cyrene, she should have had her stay in the state of Tennessee and go to school. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. It's neither here nor there. I enjoyed Thicker Than Water. They gave me my entertainment without so much wretchedness. So that's why I wanted to review this show and continue to review it, because it has some positiveness in it, and it has some solidification for it to become better, because they are at least talking about their issues. I don't know if they need to go to counseling. They make things come out where you're looking at it from another perspective. Stop. And not, the kids just saying what their dad didn't do, what he still ain't doing, and this, that, and the other. Just have a mediator where they can see all the dynamics from different perspectives, because they're all too close to be able to get a true perspective of what's really going on without pulling out, how they say, receipts. Definitely proof that no, this didn't go on, because I have this to show you that it didn't, happen that way that you're trying to say it happened. So, like I said, it was a good episode. I enjoyed the episode. And again, that was Family Feud, Thicker Than Water, the Tankard Family, Season 3, Episode 5. I look forward to reviewing it next week. And, this week coming. Okay, but whenever next time an episode, I'm kind of tired now, guys, because I did 2 tapings for my soap opera. So please forgive me if I don't even know what day I'm in. I know it's Monday, so the takers come on Sunday. Okay, so yes, y'all enjoy this until next Sunday, and then we'll be here giving you another review and recap on the Thicker Than Water Tankard Family. Okay, y'all enjoy yourselves, enjoy the video, and I'll see you next time. God willing. Bye-bye.